Good morning, my dear children. Welcome to ninth standard English class, Poem 4 The Spider and the Fly, written by Mary Howitt. The Spider and the Fly by Mary Howitt describes the entrapment of a silly fly. Entrapment means the state of being caught in a trap. Who gives into her own vanity. Vanity, that is, the quality of being too proud of her appearance or abilities, and loses her life to a cunning spider. The poem begins with the speaker describing the first efforts of a spider to lure a fly into his dark and evil home. Lure, lure, means to attract the fly. Here, evil home refers to the spider's web. Mary Botham Howitt, 1799 to 1888, was an English poet. She was born at Colliford in Gloucestershire, England. She was educated at home and read widely. She commenced writing verses at a very early age. Together with her husband William Howitt, she wrote over 180 books. If your little brother or sister does not like to eat any of these following vegetables, what will you do? Yes, you would say, "My dear brother, my dear sister, if you eat this, I will give you chocolates or ice creams." Like that. These are the flattery words we use to make the child eat. Like that. Here in this poem, the spider uses the flattery words in various ways to attract a fly to enter into his web. And finally, how the fly is caught by the spider is this poem. Let us get into the poem. Part 1, first stanza. "Will you walk into my parlor?" said the spider to the fly. "It is the prettiest little parlor that ever you did spy. The way into my parlor is up a winding stair, and I have many pretty things to show when you are there." "Oh, no, no," said the little fly, "to ask me is in vain, for who goes up your winding stair can never come down again." First stanza's explanation. The poem opens with the dialogue between a predator, the spider, and a prey, the fly. In the first stanza, we observe the spider alluring the fly to his parlor. He tries to entice the fly by saying that he has many pretty things to show her inside the parlor. The spider portrays his home as a mysterious place, as the prettiest little parlor, to trick the little fly into his web. The fly understands that it's a trap and rejects his invitation by saying that she knows that whoever goes in there never comes out. "I'm sure you must be weary, dear, with soaring up so high. Will you rest upon my little bed?" said the spider to the fly. "There are pretty curtains drawn around. The sheets are fine and thin, and if you like to rest a while, I'll snugly tuck you in." "Oh, no, no," said the little fly, "for I have often heard it said, 'They never, never wake again who sleep upon your bed.'" In the second stanza, the spider employs a different trick to convince the fly to enter his home by saying that she must be tired of flying here and there, and so offers her to get some rest on his snug little bed, and also tries to tempt her by saying that there are pretty curtains drawn around. Thankfully, the fly is aware of the fact that if she goes into rest, she might end up sleeping forever. She refuses the spider's offer and says that she is absolutely aware that whoever goes to sleep on his bed never wakes up. Said the cunning spider to the fly, "Dear friend, what can I do to prove the warm affection I have always felt for you? I have within my pantry good store of all that's nice. I am sure you are very welcome. Will you please to take a slice?" Oh, no, no, said the little fly. Kind sir, that cannot be. I have heard what's in your pantry, and I do not wish to see. In the third stanza, this time the spider tries to be friend of the fly by calling her dear friend to establish a false bond of friendship to lure the fly into his home. Again, he tries to persuade the fly to fulfill his wish by offering her good food from his pantry. Pantry is a small room where food is kept. The fly is, however, determined not to be tricked by the cunning spider. She tactfully refers to the spider as kind sir and tells him that she is not interested in seeing what he has to offer her. Sweet creature, said the spider, you are witty and you are wise. How handsome are your gauzy wings, how brilliant are your eyes. I have a little looking glass upon my parlour shelf. If you will step in one moment, dear, you shall behold yourself. I thank you, gentle sir, she said, for what you are pleased to say, and bidding you good morning now. I'll call another day. In the fourth stanza, the spider does not give up. This time, he tries to flatter the fly into doing what he wants her to do. He calls her a sweet creature, that is, witty and wise. He also compliments her appearance. How handsome are her gauzy wings! How brilliant are her eyes! He wants to show the fly how beautiful she is by offering her a looking glass to look at herself and appreciate her own beauty. The point to be noted is that until now the spider had been asking her to step into his home. But this is the first time he suggests her to do something. It affects the fly's reply. She shifts her tone from a firm, oh, no, no, sir, to a soft, I thank you, gentle sir. This is the first instance where the readers are made to anticipate the fate of the fly, that she will visit him some other day. Meanings for the following words. Parlor. A tidy room in a house used for entertaining guests. Winding. A twisting movement or course. Weary, very tired, especially from hard work. Pantry. A room where beverages, food dishes are stored. Subtle. Delicate or faint and mysterious. Flattering. To praise or compliment insincerely. Counselor, a person who advises. Snugly, in a comfortable, warm and cozy or well protected manner. Gauzy, a thin transparent. This is the end of part 1, my dear children. Let us see whether the fly enters into the spider's web or not in part 2. Thank you.